So yesterday we saw a very important topic which usually comes in the exam for 10 marks. What was it? Wave equation, right? So why is it called as wave equation? Also we saw that. Why is it called as wave equation? Because the electric field exists in the form of forward traveling wave and backward traveling wave. I proved it using the cos of omega t minus beta z term. We saw that the point P is actually moving ahead, right? So it is forward traveling wave. So when we consider cos of omega t plus beta z, it is backward traveling wave, right? Means what? When we have omega t minus beta z term, it indicates what? Forward traveling wave. Means in which direction? Plus z. So this is very important. When this is minus z, it is traveling in plus z. So instead of z, it can be x also, direction of propagation. So it will be plus x. So in the same way, if it is omega t plus beta z, it is traveling in minus z direction. So these things you should know now, right? So this is very important. So now, as I said, so if we start with any new topic, we will always go back to the Maxwell's equations, right? So the next topic is solution of wave equation or Helmholtz equation. Okay. So why we study this topic is we have the wave equation as what? Del square E vector equal to minus omega square mu epsilon E vector, right? So we don't know the exact expression for E vector. So as in what are the x, y and z components of E vector. So we how it exists in nature, that we don't know, right? So that what we try to find using this equation. So again, I have not directly taking Maxwell's equations, but you see this wave equation has been derived from Maxwell's equations only. So we have fall back to Maxwell's equations only, right? So what we say, the electric field will always try to exist in simplest form. So why it tries to exist in simplest form? So you take any example in nature, whatever is happening, it happens in the simplest form. So if you take an example of a crow, it is at point A. If it wants to travel B, how many paths are there for the crow to travel from A to B? There are infinite number of paths. But which path will the crow take? It will take the straight path. Why? Because it is the shortest path, right? So it always takes the simplest form. So you take any example in nature, it will always take the simplest form, right? So we want to find how the electric field exists in nature in which form. So we will also start with the simplest form. So we'll assume some things. If they are not conducive with our equations, we'll discard them and take the next complicated form. So the best way it can exist in what? It is constant everywhere, right? So if I use this in equation, so let's say it is k. So this will become what? Del square k equal to minus omega square mu epsilon k, right? So since k is a constant now, because we are assuming electric field is constant, since k is a constant, derivative of del square is what? Nothing but derivatives in x, y and z. Since it is constant, this will be 0. So minus omega square mu epsilon k. So these are all constants. So we are getting k equal to 0. But what we have assumed, it is some constant value. So it should come out to be some number. But it is not coming, right? So electric field cannot exist in complete constant form, right? So that is what we see here. So next, let's take, it is a function of x. So E of x indicates it is a function of x and it is oriented in x direction. Means varying in x and oriented in x also. Okay. So what we do? So we'll try to put this in Faraday's law. You can use any equation. I am just taking Faraday's law. So therefore, del cross E vector is, what is W by T? J omega. And what is B? Mu H vector. Right? So what is our E vector? E of x comma x cap. Right? And it is del cross E vector. Right? So how to solve this? So therefore minus J omega mu H vector equal to, this will be what? X cap, Y cap, Z cap. Right? And this will be dabba by dabba x, dabba by dabba y, dabba by dabba z, ex, ey, ez. Right? So therefore minus j omega mu h vector equal to, this is same. So what is dabba by dabba x, dabba by dabba y and dabba by dabba z? It is oriented only in x. It is oriented in x vector and it is a function of x and only. So means only x is varying. So y and z are constant. So dabba by dabba y and dabba by dabba z should be 0. So this is dabba by dabba x, right? And it is oriented in x, right? So it is oriented in x means this is nothing but e suffix x I can say, right? So this term will come here. So this is e of x. So again this is 0 because it is not varying in y and z. So you just solve this. So x cap 0, y cap 0, z cap 0, right? So means what we are getting h vector as 0, right? Because this you will take in denominator, that will become 0. But what we know from our Maxwell's equations significance, that there is interdependence of electric and magnetic fields. So if E vector exists, we should get a B vector or H vector. That is not happening here. So this case also does not exist, right? So let's take the next case. So what we have taken here, it is varying in x and oriented in x. So if it is same, so if you in the same way you will calculate for y cap, z cap, it will come out to be this case only. So that are not possible. So I'll take E of z x cap. Okay. So again, del cross E vector equal to minus j omega mu h vector. So therefore minus j omega mu h vector equal to x cap, y cap, z cap. Now what is dabba by dabba x and dabba by dabba y? 0. Why? Because it is varying in z. So x and y are constant. So this is 0. This is dabba by dabba z. Again we have x component. So it will be E of z here. And this will be 0. So therefore minus j omega mu h vector equal to x cap term will be 0. Right? And if you take z cap term is also 0. But if you take y cap, you will get a solution. So let's see that. So minus y cap, remember x cap into this minus y cap into this 0 minus dabba by dabba z of E of z. Right? So therefore minus j omega mu h vector equal to minus minus is plus. So dabba by dabba z E of z y cap. So therefore I can write, it is y component it is coming, right? So I can write hy, and it is a function of z only because E is a function of z. So hy of z equal to minus 1 upon j omega mu dabba by dabba z E of z. Right? I am not writing y cap because I am just writing a scalar. I have already included that in y. Right? So this is y component. Right? Means what is happening? Very important thing is happening here. We took E vector in x direction. We are getting an equation for hy. Means this form exists. So this is the simplest form in which the electric field will exist. Okay. So this is our solution of wave equation. And what is the important thing we observe here? It is oriented in x. Electric field is oriented in x. Then magnetic field is oriented in which direction? Y direction. Means what? E is always perpendicular to h vector. Right? So what I can write further here if you want? Interdependence of electric and magnetic fields. And what is the how they are interdependent? They are always perpendicular to each other. Right? So whenever you have a E vector, it will be h vector will be perpendicular. So it can be in any way like this. It is all perpendicular, right? But if electric field is tilted, so the h vector will be perpendicular into that tilted position. Right? So this electric field is like this. So it will be perpendicular here. It can be along any direction. So if it is tilted, so again my electric field will, magnetic field will also be correspondingly 90 degree. Okay. So this is what we study from this solution of wave equation. So we study one more very important aspect. So let's see that. So let me again write hy. So hy, I will not write z to avoid confusion. So it is minus 1 upon j omega mu dabba by dabba z E. Can I write this as x? So h indicates y direction. H is in y direction. E indicates x direction. Right? It is x direction. I will write ex. Okay. So and we have seen the solutions in the last lecture. What is ex? So it is minus 1 upon j omega mu dabba by dabba z. If I take only, it is a combination of forward and backward traveling wave, right? So it is ex plus e raised to minus gamma z. I am not considering backward wave. If you want, you can consider that also. Similarly, hy will be a forward and backward traveling wave. So hy plus e raised to minus gamma z. But what is here? Dabba by dabba z. So therefore, hy plus e raised to minus gamma z equal to minus 1 upon j omega mu. Ex plus is constant. So ex plus derivative of e raised to minus gamma z is e raised to minus gamma z only, but then you take derivative of this, so it is what? Minus gamma, right? So therefore hy plus e raised to minus gamma z equal to minus minus is plus, so gamma upon j omega mu ex plus e raised to minus gamma z, right? And what is gamma? It is alpha plus j beta. We saw this yesterday. So in our case alpha was 0, right? So what is gamma? J beta, right? And yesterday we assumed gamma is what? Gamma square was what? Minus omega square mu epsilon. So what will be gamma? J omega root mu epsilon is j beta, right? So I want gamma. Gamma is what? J beta. So therefore hy plus e raised to minus gamma z equal to gamma is j beta. So j and beta is omega root mu epsilon. This is omega, sorry, upon j omega mu ex plus e raised to minus gamma z. So what is cancelling here? Gamma z, j omega with this j omega. Root mu epsilon upon root mu will be what? Root epsilon by mu. So let me take the next page. So therefore hy plus equal to root epsilon by mu ex plus. So therefore if you take ex plus upon ey plus, what is it? Root mu by epsilon. Okay, so in general, so sorry, this is what hy, right? So we just, so this can be for a forward wave and for a backward wave also, right? So what we do, if you take what is the unit of E, it is volts per meter. What is the unit of H? It is amperes per meter. So E by H, so we are taking E by H ratio. So volt per here, volt per meter upon volt per meter is what? Ampere per meter is what? Volt per ampere. So this is what? V by R. Sorry, V is what? IR. So what is R? V by I. So volt per ampere. So it is unit of what? Resistance. So this is nothing but ohms. So this indicates it is what? A resistance, right? So we call it as intrinsic impedance. So eta, it is denoted by eta, standard notation. So ex plus upon hy plus equal to square root of mu by epsilon, and this is equal to minus ex minus upon hy minus. So when you calculate the same for this, we calculated only considering forward wave. So if you take a backward wave, it will be negative. Okay, because so the negative sign indicates that it is a backward traveling wave coming back, right? So if you calculate square root of mu by epsilon, so for free space, we know what is mu. It is mu 0 mu r. What is epsilon? Epsilon 0 epsilon r. So for free space, mu r is 1, epsilon r is 1. So therefore eta will be square root of mu 0. Sorry, mu 0 is what? 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 Henry per meter. This is mu 0. Epsilon 0 is what? 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 farads per meter. So you divide this, take the square root, we'll get the answer as 120 pi, which is equal to approximately equal to 377 ohms. So this is the intrinsic impedance of free space. So what do you understand by this simple equation? Eta is 377 ohms. So it is the impedance, right? So what do you understand from this? So if you have some system here, some communication system, obviously it will be connected to an antenna, and this is acting as a transmitter. So it will go to some receiver. So this is some block. So this is my receiver. So what is happening so far? What we have seen, the communication system will be connected to a power source and so on. So finally some signal will come out. So what is that signal? Yesterday we proved that, even though we call it as signal, but yesterday we proved that it is what? Not a signal, but exactly what? A electromagnetic wave, right? So antenna radiates, we know. So what does it radiate? It radiates an electromagnetic wave because the signal has to travel. So it is a wave, and it is a traveling wave. So it will go towards the receiver. And in which medium is it? It is in air, or it is also called as free space, right? So for free space, what we saw, the impedance denoted by eta, it is 377 ohms, right? So this is the intrinsic impedance of free space. means the electromagnetic wave which is radiated by the antenna experiences a natural resistance of how much? 377 ohms. That is the meaning of this. So I hope you understood it. So again, the transmitting antenna is radiating the electromagnetic wave. So what is the electromagnetic wave encountering along the way to the along the path to the receiver? It is encountering an impedance of 377 ohms. So it is a natural resistance provided by nature, we can say. Okay, so this is again a very important concept. Okay, so I would like to make clear that we derived this, right? How we got this Ex and Hy relation. This exists in simplest form. This is not in the exam. Okay, it is not in the exam in the sense the question derivation will not be asked in the exam for that. But you should know this equation. This is very important. It will be important in numericals. So that's why I have taken this. Okay. So next. So now means what is happening? We have electric field E vector in x direction, magnetic field H vector in y direction, and the terms were what? E raised to j times omega t minus beta z. So we considered it as cos of omega t minus beta z for simplicity. This is beta, sorry, right? So this indicates it is traveling in which direction? Plus z, right? So wave propagation is in which direction? Z cap. So you can see there is some relation here, right? X, Y, Z, all three different directions. And we already know, we proved just now that electric field is always perpendicular to magnetic field, right? So this is what we know. Means what is happening? Just see this. So where is my third sketch pen? Yeah. So let's say towards the camera or towards you, it is electric field, X direction. Okay. So magnetic field will be perpendicular, so it will be in Y. So let's say this is the Y direction. So X, Y. And how is the wave propagating? So this is my E perpendicular to H. How is the wave propagating? Z direction. Positive Z. So let's say this. Assume this is the positive Z direction. So the wave is traveling like this. Means what is this? This is a plane, XY plane. And the wave is traveling perpendicular to this plane. Right? So this form of wave is called as uniform plane wave. So how we define this? So this is asked in the exam definition, so I'll write it. So the time varying fields are always constant in a plane containing the field vectors. So what is this? I'll tell you. And have wave motion where perpendicular to the plane. This phenomenon is called uniform plane wave. Okay. So what do you mean? So obviously these are time varying fields. So remember the waves will, I forgot to mention this point yesterday. The waves are traveling only when there is a time varying nature, right? Because what is del square E vector wave equation? Dabba j omega dabba by dabba t E vector, right? I might have messed with the constant, so you just check whether it is correct. But it is what? Dependent time varying electric field. So if it is a static field, we say dabba by dabba t, we make it 0. So what will we get? Del square E vector is 0. Means for static fields, we don't have traveling waves. So whenever you see transmission of waves, that's why we always use AC source. So why we don't use a DC source? Because the fields cannot travel in DC source. So there should be some frequency given to the source. Okay. So that is one more concept and which you can understand from this subject. So again, that's why I say it is mother of all subjects. So this is uniform plane wave. So I can define one more wave that is called as TEM wave. So what is it? Transverse electromagnetic wave. So as we saw, E is always perpendicular to H, right? So XY, and the wave is traveling perpendicular, that is transverse to this plane, like this, right? So it is and it is an electromagnetic wave because E and H are together. So that's why it is called as transverse electromagnetic wave. So in the exam, once it was as defined uniform plane wave and TEM wave. you can draw this diagram. You can say this is my Z, so this will be, sorry, this will be X, this will be Y. So you can show the electric field traveling in this direction. And now I'll take a new page. So how you can show it? Because it will come for 5 marks. You cannot just write the definitions. Better you show a diagram also depicting the propagation, right? So electric field is traveling in Z direction and it is oriented in X, right? So I can draw it like this. So electric field is oriented in X and traveling in Z. Then magnetic field is perpendicular to X, so means Y direction. So it will be along the Y plane and it is traveling in Z direction also. So we have shown it perpendicular also. So this form of wave is what? TEM wave, right? So this indicates E vector, this indicates H vector. So this you can draw, and obviously this is the origin. So how will you define transverse electromagnetic wave? So it is simple, so you don't have to buy it, so I will not write it. So how you can say the electric and magnetic fields are always perpendicular to each other. And what is the direction? And so the electric and magnetic fields are always perpendicular to each other, and direction of propagation is always perpendicular. In brackets you can write transverse to the plane of electric and magnetic fields. So hence the wave is called as TEM wave, right? So next let's do some numericals based on this. So again these are all exam questions asked in the exam for, I suppose, 10 marks. I am not sure. So let's do this. So what is the first numerical? So before this I'll take this one. So it says that an electric field in medium which is source free, right? Means what? Rho v is 0 and J vector is 0. Means there are no sources. Is given by E vector equal to 1.5 cos of 10 raised to 8 t minus beta z x cap volts per meter. Obtain D vector, B vector and H vector. Assume free space medium, right? Means what is given? One of the fields is given. So you have to obtain the other fields, right? So this is a question based on Maxwell's equations, right? So again I'll write them. So what terms we have E vector, right? So how we can find D vector? So D vector we know is epsilon E vector. So we know D vector. Now you need to find E vector. So what is the relation between B vector and E vector? So from one of the Maxwell's equation, it is del cross E vector is minus dabba by dabba t B vector. So we can find B vector. So if we know B vector, we can find H vector. It is what? Mu H vector, right? So simple sums coming for 10 marks, right? So let's first find E vector. So D vector is epsilon E vector. So therefore D vector we know it is epsilon 0, epsilon R E vector, right? So since they have not mentioned anything about epsilon R, so they have mentioned assume free space medium. So epsilon R equal to 1. So you have to write here because the medium is free space, therefore epsilon R equal to 1. So therefore what is D vector? It is 1.5 into epsilon 0, 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 cos of 10 raised to 8 t minus beta z x cap. So therefore D vector equal to D. I got my C. So if you want, what you can say, it is 1.5 epsilon 0 cos of 10 raised to 8 t minus beta z x cap. That will also do. But since I have written it, I'll do it. 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. So 1.3275 into 10 raised to minus 12. So just press engineering button. It is what? In standard format. So 13.275 cos of 10 raised to 8 t minus beta z x cap. It is 10 raised to minus 12. So pico. So pico coulombs per meter square. So this is what? D vector. So first part we are done. So next what we have to find? B vector. So del cross E vector is minus dabba by dabba t B vector. Oops. So del cross E vector equal to minus dabba by dabba t B vector, right? So I want to find B vector, so let's take it to the left side. Equal to del cross E vector. So again it is what? A determinant. So x cap, y cap, z cap, right? So you know this is dabba by dabba x, dabba by dabba y, dabba by dabba z, then ex, ey, ez. So better write this step. I am not writing that. So what we know, electric field is oriented only in x, right? And it is varying in which direction? Only z. Means what? X and y are constant, right? So derivative will be 0. So this is 0, this is 0. So this will be dabba by dabba z, and it is oriented only in x. So write this value there. So 1.5 cos of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z. So make sure you make this determinant bigger. So I didn't make it. So oriented in x, so this value is there, and y and z components are 0. So this is 0, right? So therefore minus dabba by dabba t b vector equal to, so x cap is 0. So this is the same e of z x cap. So we should get only y component. So minus y cap into 0 minus dabba by dabba z. So I'll directly write the derivative. So 1.5 sine of 10 raised to 8t t minus beta z into derivative of this, so into 10 raised to 8 with respect to t. So z is constant, so 0, and derivative of cos is minus sign. So this minus will become plus, and this minus minus gets cancelled. So dabba by dabba t b vector equal to 1.5 sine of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z into 10 raised to 8 y cap. So how will we find b vector from this? Integrate with respect to t. So integrating with respect to t. So what will we get? B vector on LHS. So therefore b vector equal to, so what will be constants with respect to t, right? So 1.5 into 10 raised to 8 is constant. So 1.5 into 10 raised to 8. Now what is integral of sine? It is minus cos, right? So integral of sine is minus cos. So 1.5 into 10 raised to 8, I have written integral of sine is minus cos. So this is minus, I am writing here, cos of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z upon, it is integral of upon derivative of this, right? So with respect to t, so upon 10 raised to 8, rest terms will be 0. If I miss something, only y cap is remaining. So y cap. So therefore b vector equal to, so 10 raised to 8 will get cancelled. So minus 1.5 cos of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z y cap. Right? Fine. So this is b vector, right? I think I made a mistake here. Yeah, this is what derivative with respect to z. I think I took it with respect to t. So this will not come here. So sine of this, yeah. So derivative of cos is minus sign. So this is correct. So with respect to z, this is constant. So this will be 0. So this will be into minus beta, right? So this will be minus 1.5 beta. This will go away. Yeah, and I am correct. So this is not here, and this is what minus. So this minus minus will become plus 1.5 beta, which is plus 1.5 beta upon 10 raised to 8. So therefore b vector equal to 15 beta cos of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z y cap nano Tesla, because this is 10 raised to 8, right? So next thing is, can we find beta? So we know from the previous lecture and today's lecture also that beta is omega root mu epsilon. So let's see what is given in the question. So electric field, so they have not given the frequency, so we cannot find it. So but if frequency is given, so you can find beta. So leave this. So next is what? B vector is mu h vector, right? So what will be h vector? B vector upon mu. So mu is mu 0 mu r. Mu 0 we know 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. So therefore we can find h vector. So you write the steps, I am skipping that. So 15 divided by 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7, right? And into, don't forget this nano, so into 10 raised to minus 9. So you can write in milli, so it is approximately 12 milli, right? So 12 beta cos of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z, again y cap, milli ampere per meter. So this is our final required answer, right? So let's take the last sum for today. Is that sum? Yeah. So again, same way, in a media characterized by mu equal to mu 0, epsilon equal to epsilon 0, E vector is 20 sine of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z, A y cap volts per meter. Find beta and H vector, right? So what we know, beta is what? Omega root mu epsilon, right? So what will be beta? So omega, oh, in the last time I said omega is not given, the frequency is not given, but indirectly omega is given. This is of what form? Sine of omega t minus beta z. So you can find beta in the previous example also. So make sure you find the value of beta and write in the equations. So omega is 10 raised to 8 square root of mu 0 epsilon 0, right? So mu epsilon, you can write the value. So what will be beta? Let's see. So beta is 10 raised to 8 into square root of 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 into 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. So how much is it? 0.3335. What is the unit? Radians per meter. Okay, so this is what beta. Next, what we have to find? H vector. So del cross E vector equal to minus dabba by dabba t B vector, right? So I'll just write the vector, then you can find it yourself. So therefore minus dabba by dabba t B vector equal to del cross E vector. So now I am trying it up here. So it is x cap, y cap, z cap. Now let's see. Again oriented in y now. In the previous case it was oriented in x. So oriented in y and varying in z. So x and y are constants. So dabba by dabba x, dabba by dabba y is 0. So this is dabba by dabba z. So then oriented in y means ex is 0, ez is 0. So this will be 20 sine of 10 raised to 8t minus beta z. Right, so this beta you can substitute here 0.3335 and then you can integrate, solve this. So you will get minus dabba by dabba t b vector, then you can integrate, then you will get b vector, right? But they have asked h vector, so you use b vector is mu h vector. So therefore you can find h vector equal to, right? What is the unit? Amperes per meter. Don't forget the units. What is the unit for b vector? Tesla, right? So you should know these equations. For beta it is radians per meter.